Put Lamar in longer down the distances.
Watching for in this game.
To see that the coach can stink less up front. This is a team that was built on the run game and being able to protect the quarterback. It's why for years we've been saying you need to find a quarterback, you throw him in there, and you have a team that's ready-made for a Super Bowl. We haven't seen that. No run game against the Jacksonville Jaguars, no protection for Matt Ryan, which resulted in 3 interceptions. They have to be better up front if they want a chance to compete with a team like the Kansas City Chiefs.
And then Sacho, Battle of the Bays, Packers, Bucks. What are you watching?
Who's going to be catching balls for Tom Brady? Mike Evans, as you saw, he's suspended this game. Chris Godwin got injured week 1. He's not practicing. Julio Jones didn't practice as well. Who's going to step up? Is it going to be Leonard Fournette, heavy game? Is it going to be Scotty Miller, step up big? That's what I'm looking to watch. It's not the Green Bay Packers receivers you need to be worried about. It's the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
That's exactly right. Although the Packer receivers are all hurt, too. And none of them are practicing right now. It was Brashad Perriman who caught the touchdown last week. I mean, look, what is Tom going to do? RC, I mean, you played against Tom Brady and all these. Who is he throwing the ball to? What is their offense going to look like on Sunday?
I mean, his offense is going to start with Leonard Fournette, but let's not be confused into thinking that that's what they're doing this week because they don't have people to pass the football to. He was who won the football game against Dallas in week 1. He was the guy that got 24 carries against the New Orleans Saints that allowed Tom to not have to force balls into difficult situations, which creates turnovers. And he's a little banged up as well, but this team is winning on defense. You know, we looked at the Dallas Cowboys week 1 and we said, you know what, they were done without Dak Prescott. You know why? Because the Tampa Bay Buccaneers defense was on their heads. Those linebackers, Levante David and Devin White, are playing at that Super Bowl level. They're taking the top, they're keeping the top on the defense and making plays in the secondary with Antoine Winfield now at the nickel. And then offensively, they are doing enough. And we watched Tom Brady make plays like we saw late in the game to Brashad Perriman. When you think about this team, they're just finding ways to win. And that's what you want if you're Coach Todd Bowles. We are not playing our best ball, but we're 2-0 with an opportunity to go beat Green Bay, and I think they get it done.
Now, Nico, here's a game with the 2 preeminent quarterbacks of their generation, 2 of the greatest that have ever lived. Are we looking at a baseball score here? I mean, are we looking at a super low-scoring game on Sunday?
Yeah, potentially. I mean, this could be a 10-7 game. And I know all the fantasy people out there are going to be pulling their hair out. But at the end of the day, when you have 2 rosters that are injured, you're going to have to rely on your defense. And you don't want to play your best football in September. You want to have to go through these lumps early in the season to hopefully they get healthy. Both sides, both teams. You want them to get healthy and have a good push at the end of the year. It's going to be a defensive struggle. I like the Bucs in this one because they lead the NFL in sacks. They have 10 sacks on the season. 6 of those come from blitzing linebackers. So again, with that, we know Green Bay has an issue up front. They have issues at the receiving core. We've seen Aaron Rodgers get ping-ponged around back there. So again, I think the Bucs are going to get after Aaron Rodgers, and I'm taking the Bucs. Tom Brady will find a way.
Cindy, let's put the picks up again. And we did not ask Dan Graziano to make a pick because he's covering this game for us for ESPN and for Sunday Countdown. So I threw my pick in there. And once again, we are all united. We all like Tampa. So you're talking to people, obviously, on both sides of this thing. What are the important things the fans need to know heading into this enormous game that is the exact opposite of what we would have expected it to be?
Yeah, I think the focal point will be the run game from both teams. I was at the Packers game last week, and they ran the whole thing through Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon, and they're happy to keep doing that as long as Aaron Rodgers and his wide receivers are continuing to work to get on the same page, which Aaron admits they are. So, yeah, I would expect that not just Leonard Fournette, but on the other side, you're going to see a run-heavy game plan from Green Bay. 2 very good defenses and 2 offenses that aren't all the way whole, and they're going to lean on what they actually can do.
But, Greeny, I have a genuine question as I'm listening to all this talk. Will it get better? I mean, between Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers, they have 4 total touchdown passes. The receivers are still injured. Green Bay, they relied on Randall Cobb. Like, will it actually get better as far as not just winning games? I'm talking about these quarterbacks looking like MVP caliber quarterbacks.
Mike Evans' suspension is only 1 game. Chris Godwin will be healthy eventually. And in Green Bay, they believe that experience with those young receivers will make them better as the year goes along.
If these teams play each other again in January, it might look vastly different. We'll see. In the meantime, speaking of quarterbacks who are struggling, Sunday night, Russell Wilson at home against Jimmy Garoppolo. These guys know each other well from their days in the NFC West. Of course, it is Russell who's made the jump to the...
It means the quarterbacks. Josh Allen has owned this matchup, winning his last 7 starts against Miami with 23 total scores and just 3 turnovers. But Miami, of course, is red hot behind the AFC Player of the Week, Tua Tagovailoa, who became the first Dolphin player with 450 yards and 6 touchdowns in a game last week. Whoever wins could be the winner of the AFC East. Buffalo's chances with the victory go up to 89%, while Miami would have a 32% chance of winning the division should they pull off this win. And I will repeat once again what I've been saying all week long. The Dolphins have as much of an advantage as you could ask for, playing at home in the hot weather in September. Buffalo on a short week, traveling off, playing on a Monday night. On Fridays, we put the picks up before we have the conversation. Anyone buying? No, not one person bought my Miami sales pitch. Here's what I want to ask you, RC. We talk about how little things can change everybody's perception if the Browns don't give away that game last week. Are the Dolphins the team that played the first 3 quarters last week against the Ravens, or are they the team that went nuts in the fourth quarter and found a way to win?
I think they're a team somewhere in between there. I don't believe they're a defense that is that bad that you're going to give up 35 points in 3 quarters weekly, or is that something that's going to become the norm. I also don't necessarily know that they're the 4 touchdowns in the fourth quarter type of team with the 2 long bombs against broken coverage to Tyreek Hill. And so when you look at this team, this is the week, right? This is the true litmus test of who you are. You're playing against the Buffalo Bills, who will be banged up at the corner position, who won't be at full strength there. We don't necessarily know how well or if Gabe Davis will be able to go. And so this is a chance that if you're a Tua Tagovailoa to say you've arrived. This is a chance if you're a Jalen Waddle and you're a Tyreek Hill to say that your 2 heads are better than the 1 head and Stephon Diggs, who's on the other side for the Buffalo Bills. A chance to say that you can block Von Miller in that front, run the football against Tremaine Edmonds, and also Matt Milano. And so there's so much that's going on this week. But if you're the Miami Dolphins, you can't rest on that fourth quarter. You can't expect that to be all the time. And I think that Mike McDaniels and his team understands that. They also understand that the Buffalo Bills are now the hunted. They're the best team in football. The team that blew out the number 1 seed in the AFC, the team that blew out the defending Super Bowl champions. And so I'm really excited to watch the Miami Dolphins step to the plate with the big boys, not the Patriots, not the Ravens defense, the Buffalo Bills, and show us who they really are. And we'll know a lot about this team come Sunday night.
Nanko, what are the Bills players saying? Take me inside those Bills defensive conversations. What are they saying as they watch the tape of what Tyreek Hill did last week?
You got to stop 10. You have to make sure that you cover him, and you cannot get beat deep over the top. Listen, when you're playing a receiver that runs a 4.2 flat 40, you know as a safety, whatever I do, I got to keep it in front of me. I cannot let him get behind the defense because those are easy plays. When you run past the defense and nobody's paying attention to a guy that's that fast, the quarterback just throws it as far as he possibly can. And those are easy plays. You can't let the Miami Dolphins have easy access. So with that, I think Buffalo, they're going to come into this game plan saying it's not going to be easy. We're going to make sure that you go to somebody else besides 10. And you got Von Miller, a guy that they brought in to rush the passer and get to the quarterback in division games. So again, I think that this game is another tone-setting game. The Buffalo Bills understand. Week 1, all eyes were on us. We had to go out there, set the tone early, put the whole league on notice. This is another game. It's even more important because it's in division. So I don't think that they're going to be caught sleeping or slipping. They're going to go out there, set the tone, and they're going to make sure that Tua doesn't have easy access down the field to Tyreek Hill.
Now, Tua had that breakout performance. Everyone's all excited. But to put another one back-to-back with it, especially against this team, do you think he has another big day?
I think he does. Because Nico makes a great point. You got to stop 10. But you go ahead and try to stop 10, and 17 goes off. 17, yeah. Jalen Waddle had 11 catches, 171 yards. And what was interesting is the first 3 quarters, 10 was stopped. Tyreek Hill was stopped. And then all of a sudden, the fourth quarter, he goes off. 11 catches, 190 yards for the day. And so for me, the question of, okay, is it the first 3 quarters, Dolphins, or is it the fourth quarter? Yes, it's a little bit of both, but the issue is if you spend your whole time trying to stop 10, 17 goes crazy. Now you say, man, let me try to stop 17. Now 10 goes crazy. That's the issue with this team. They have so many weapons on the offensive side of the ball that it's hard to stop all of them. It's not an anomaly what they did in that fourth quarter.
Danny, you've been around the Bills a lot, and it feels like their focus has been so squarely on Kansas City in so many ways. Well, and they've got them in a month, but this is a big game.
It is. Look, I think their focus is on trying to win the Super Bowl. Right now, through 2 games, they've been the dominant team in the league. to the point about the safeties playing deep on Tyreek Hill. The Bills' safeties aren't practicing. They're hurt, right? Micah Hyde and Jordan Poyer, they're hurt. We don't know if they're going to play, or if so, how well. They're banged up at cornerback. So the key is that pass rush, right? I mean, they have the number 3 pass rush win rate in the league, and they've only blitzed on 4 plays in 2 games. So they're getting pressure with the front 4. The Dolphins' left tackle, Teron Armstead's dealing with an injury, right? He didn't practice yesterday either. So if they can hassle Tua enough, he might not have time to get it down the field to those guys.
Feels like the things that Baltimore didn't do last week are the things Buffalo can do to Miami this week. So let's make some more picks here. DraftKings Sportsbook predictions brought to you by DraftKings. Let's go through some notes here. Graziano, today's question is this. Will Tyreek have over 100 receiving yards on Sunday?
No, I say no. I think they do. I think that pass rush gets after Tua enough, and I think Buffalo is going to do what it did the first couple weeks, which is put up a big lead, and then they'll be able to get after the quarterback even more. I think right now Buffalo's feeling no pain.
Let's throw some more numbers out there. Ninko, more or less 79.5 receiving yards for Stephon Diggs. What do you think?
Well, considering he has 270 yards right now in 2 games, more